Hello friends, welcome to Career Training Solutions. Hope you're doing good. This is Janani and this session is a continuation of our last one on reading comprehension. So without any delay, let's get into it. Well, in the last session, we have discussed some important concepts like tips to handle RC, tones of a passage, tones of poem, and in addition to that, we have also discussed the basic models of questions that one can expect in a RC. So if you haven't watched it, kindly do check the link given in the description box. Go watch the video and then come back to this to have a better follow up. Now in this session, we'll be discussing some short passage comprehension and poetic comprehensions. Now here comes your first passage. As I told you, it is a short passage for which the word limit may range from 200 to 300. So take around 30 seconds of time, pause the video for 30 seconds, skim the passage, hit the headings. If you remember, these were the first 2 points I have mentioned you in handling the RC. First one is to skim the passage and second one is to get an idea of what the passage is all about. So pause the video for around 30 seconds, skim the passage and then come back to the question. Well, here comes your first question with 4 options. The first option says, an ecosystem is a community that includes animals, plants and microscopic bacteria. Second one, human activities can do great damage to local ecosystems. So human communities should be cautiously planned. Third one, in managing the ecology of an area, it's important to protect both human interests and the interests of other members of local ecosystems. And your last option, people should remember that they are a part of the ecosystems where they live and work. Now, you remember the last point I have told you in ruling out the options. You have to give reasons to rule out the options. This is how it works. Now look at the first option. It tells about what an ecosystem is, or it just tells what an ecosystem is comprised with. So this, your question is what is the main idea of the passage, but your option A is just a part of your right answer, but it is not the exact answer. So having that as a reason, I am ruling out my first option. Now comes your second option. Human activities can do great damage to local ecosystems. Note the word so. So human communities should be cautiously planned. Now get back to your passage and look at the 8th line at it. Human activities can harm or destroy local ecosystems unless actions such as land development for housing or business are carefully planned. Now in this passage, the same statement is given as a conditional statement, whereas in your option it is given as a concluding statement. Both are totally different. So having that as a reason, I am ruling out my option B. Guys, when you rule out option, you will have to be very keen in reading every word, as each and every word is likely to change the meaning of the sentence. So be careful in ruling out the options. Your option C, in managing the ecology of an area, it's important to protect both human interests and the interests of other members of local ecosystems. Well, that summarizes the entire concept of it. Hold on to that. Come back to option D. People should remember that they are a part of the ecosystems where they live and work. Well, this is again a part of your answer, but this cannot be the exact answer. So having valid reasons to rule out option A, B and D, I am left with option C, which is your right answer. Hope you got it. Now this is how you have to eliminate options and reach the right answer in a short period of time. Now let's move on to the second question of the same passage. Which of the following best sums up activities within an ecosystem? And your options are predator-prey relationships, interactions among all members, human-animal interactions, human relationship with the environment. Well, had you read the passage, you would have understood that ecosystem is a combination, it has human beings, animals, microorganisms, plants and everything in it, right? So human animal interactions alone cannot be in an ecosystem, so that is ruled out. Human relationship with the environment is alone not your answer, right? So ruling out option C and D, I am having A and B. Now A option is your predator prey relationship, which is an example of the passage. That is, it might act as a citation for what is conveyed in the passage, but it doesn't sum up all the activities within an ecosystem. So that also cannot be your answer. So your answer is option B, interactions among all members, which is very, very explicitly mentioned in the second line of the passage. An ecosystem is a group of animals and plants living in a specific region and interacting with one another and with their physical environment. So this serves to be the second answer. Hope you got it. Moving on to the third question. An ecosystem can most accurately be defined as a geographical area, community, habitat, protected environment. Well, option A, geographical area, sounds very intellectual and doesn't suit to the message that is conveyed in the passage. So that cannot be your answer. So rule it out. Community, it may be your answer. So hold on with that. Habitat. Well, habitat is confined to one particular species, whereas ecosystem is a combination of variety of species. So habitat and ecosystem are just antonyms to each other. So that cannot be your answer. And your protected environment. See, it's a one organism is a prey to another organism. So the environment is not protected for anyone. So protected environment can also not be your right answer. So having eliminated option A, C and D, we are left with option B, which is your answer. Hope you got it. Moving to the second passage. Now this passage is shorter than the last one. So take around 20 seconds of time, pause the video, skim the passage, get to know what the passage is all about, and then come back to the question. Well, the question says, the passage implies that most serious damage done by a light pollution is to our option A, artistic appreciation, sense of physical well-being, cultural advancement, and spiritual selves. Now look at the last line of the passage. We lose our connection with something profoundly important to the human spirit. So that is an explicit answer. So the answer for this question is spiritual selves. Hope you got it. Now this brings us to the end of short passage, entering into poetic comprehension. Guys, when you handle poetic comprehension, it's very, very important to analyze the hidden meaning of a poem, because usually poets are very intellect. So they have an explicit meaning and an implicit meaning when they write their poems. So just pause the video for 30 seconds, read the few lines of the poem, get to know what is it all about, and then come back to the question. Well, having read the poem, you would have just got a basic idea of it, but I would like to give the summary of the poem. This poem was written by an Anglo-Indian poet, Toru Dutt. So the summary of the poem goes like this. Love was once personified. Love is personified in the very first sentence, in the very first line of the poem. Love came to Flora. Love is just to feel. Now the poet says love has come to Flora. So I can say love was personified in the first line, that it had come down to Flora to asking it to select a flower that can be the queen of all the flowers. See, generally we human beings have difference of opinions, right? So when the flora was personified to us, it should also have rivals. It should also have difference of opinions, right? So is this case. So when love asked Flora to select a flower that can be the queen of flowers, one group of flowers suggested rose to be the queenliest flower for its beautiful appearance, while the other set of flowers argued that it cannot stand as erect as a lily does. But lily is not lovelier, right? So Flora decided to give birth to a flower that has the combined characteristics of lily and the rose. Thus, Flora gave the lotus. So Toru Dutt named the poem Lotus. So this is the summary of the poem. Having known that, now read the question. Mention the tone used in the line. The rose can never tower like the pale lily. Well, the rose can never tower like the pale lily. So rose is compared to a lily, right? So when it is a direct comparison, the answer is going to be simile. for the same poem, you have another question. The suitable meaning for delicious and stately is tasty and still, attractive, erect, attractive, still, tasty and erect. As I told you, poems may have a hidden meaning. The exact meaning of delicious and stately is attractive and erect. Delicious is a characteristic of rose, stately is a characteristic of lily. So the answer is attractive and erect. Third one, which of the following proves to be the contemporary theme of the poem? As I told you, you have to be very keen in reading the question carefully. The question says, which of the following proves to be the contemporary theme of the poem, which means which of the following themes are very contemporary, that is, it implies with the present world. So the options are Flora's Great Judgment, Rose versus Lily, Quarrel for Possessions, Personified Entertainment. Now option A, B and D are the theme that is confined only within the poem, but it cannot be contemporary. So the answer for this question is Quarrel for Possessions. So that brings us to the end of the session. If you have learned something of this, please do like, comment and share the videos to your friends. So if you have any doubt, kindly mention to us in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Stay connected with Career D Training Solutions.